Hi, this is Kathy Goodwin, and we're back talking about branding myth number 4 in our series on branding. And today we're going to talk about your brand is like a luggage tag, which is a myth that is commonly perpetuated because when we think about branding, we want to brand everything. Just like when we go on a trip, we want to put our name on every piece of luggage. So here's how it starts. Someone says, I need a clever name for my get acquainted calls. I don't want to call them discovery sessions like everybody else does. I'm special. My calls are special. And of course they are. Or you could say, I have 3 categories of membership in my new program. I don't want to use the same old silver, gold, and platinum. So what happens is people spend days, weeks, sometimes even months delaying the launch of a program because they're looking for a special name to brand that program. Now, there's a confusion because a brand is not a luggage tag. I mean, I'm getting ready to go on a trip and I'm going to take luggage and I'm going to put my name and a tag on every single piece I take. So we've got these pieces, that one, that one, that one. Uh oh, I hope we get this one closed. Sometimes you don't need a name that evokes your story. What you really want is a name that evokes a familiar story. Think about going to a city during a holiday and you see symbols of religion, of the holiday season. Whether you're a member of that religion or not, those symbols will evoke stories for you. They may be positive, they may be negative, depending on your personal situation, but they will evoke what we call cultural memories, so you know exactly what they're referring to. And in the same way, when people see certain terms like discovery session, these terms evoke business memories that are common to almost everyone in a particular audience. And using your own clever terms in those situations will just confuse people because they won't know what you're talking about. I mean, if you talk about a session that's a follow your path session, you have to explain what that means. And that may be perfectly acceptable, but be aware that you're not evoking a common myth, a common story that people will relate to. For example, if you have a diagnostic call, people expect that you'll get on the call. And what will you talk about? Well, you'll say, here's what is going on with you right now. Here's what needs to change. Here's what's really good. Here's what I recommend. It may be paid. It may be free. A get acquainted call is almost always free. What that means is you're going to be on the phone or in person with someone. You're not going to charge them. You're going to talk about how you two can work together. That's almost always what people are expecting when they see the term get acquainted call. Discovery session is just like a get acquainted call, but usually you have a little more content. Maybe you include a few more insights into your client's situation in a discovery call. And that's usually free, but it can be paid. A strategy session can be free or paid. Mine are paid, and they usually are paid. And what that means is we're going to focus on you, the client. We're going to talk about your problem, your challenges. We're not going to talk about me or how we can work together. We're not going to sell on a strategy call. That's pretty much the expectation. So if you deviate from these common patterns, you need to explain because people are coming to these terms with their own story based on their experience, which is common to large parts of your audience. Familiarity means fast. Familiarity means that people will be processing the information quickly in their minds because they make that association. If you see a picture of a cat, you know exactly what that picture represents. And if you see a familiar term, you know exactly what that term stands for. When people have to decode your programs and your symbols, you risk losing them. So use straightforward names or an easy metaphor. So when I had my career site, I had 3 categories: renovation, rebuilding, reconstruction. Renovation was things like painting the walls, putting up carpet, maybe changing the light fixtures. Rebuilding was deeper. Rebuilding might be something like redoing the kitchen counters or redoing the whole floor. Reconstruction meant getting into the really tearing things up, maybe replacing walls, moving things around. That's where you need a skilled contractor with a contractor's license, and you might have crews in tying up your home for days. So what that meant was that obviously the renovation was very short term, very straightforward coaching. Rebuilding was a little deeper, and the reconstruction was several months long. People seem to relate to this, and that was because my audience tended to be homeowners, so these terms had meaning for them. But you have to be careful when you use terms because your audience may not recognize them, and you have to explain what they are. Cute names can be a turnoff and will distract your audience. So what's more important than what you name your programs is that you clarify exactly what benefits are associated with each step and each program. So you might say something like, the silver is for people who need X, the gold is for people who need Y. Your next step might be, if you'd like to go deeper and plan a whole strategy around this, join me in a power hour consultation. These consultations were designed when you have something you really need to work on to move your marketing forward. So we spend 90 minutes with you working on whatever you like. It could be anything from revising your copy so you can release your marketing materials to maybe working on your business model or your plan. My course, Brand Your Business One Story at a Time, goes more deeply into the different types of stories that you can use to brand your business. And I've said often, starting with a story is the best way to come up with a meaningful brand for your business. And finally, personal branding one story at a time is a way to brag about yourself in such a way that you differentiate yourself without sounding pushy or salesy or obnoxious. So thank you so much for joining me on this video, and I hope to see you again on a future video and perhaps a one-to-one consultation. Thanks again.